Welcome everybody to Amazing You podcast and YouTube channels, the channels where stories of resilience, triumph and unwavering hope come to life. And in each episode we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads on and emerged victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating through difficult times. And whether you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to hope and triumph. So join us as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So be prepared, everyone, to be inspired and to find the strength to navigate life challenges. And a very big thank you to those who've been supporting the channels for the past 4 years. Thank you for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and please continue to do so. And for anybody who is new today, very warm welcome to you. Very happy to have you. And please subscribe, like, and share. I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a Mars Venus life and relationship coach. I am also a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy method. I am a past life regression practitioner, breathwork coach, tarot reader, and astrologer. And today I am very excited and very honored to introduce you all to a very special lady all the way from the States, really special. When you will hear her story, you will understand what I'm talking about. Her name is Nattolie Chilton. Nattolie is a courageous truth and addictions coach, and she is also the author of the book Unsilenced. Nattolie is the founder of Survivors Unite Club. So Nattolie not only healed from abuse, domestic violence, and parental alienation and addiction, but she also earned a degree in Neurolinguistics, NLP, and Hypnosis amid her transformative journey. And as a truth coach and trauma-informed solution-focused certified counselor, her greatest joy lies in being a safe confidant. So very warm welcome to Amazing You, Nattolie.
Thank you. Thank you. It warms my heart. Incredible to hear you say all these things and that it's actually me.
Yes.
From the roots of where I came, we can grow. We can grow into our dream, the wholeness that we dream of.
And that is beautiful. What a real testimony you are that healing is possible, despite all the challenges we've experienced in our earlier, younger lives or childhood lives. Yes. So I would like you, Nattolie, if you can share briefly your story behind that transformation.
There's so many ways it can go that I don't have a standard answer for this. I just wish to say what this audience most needs to hear. And I have to say that I grew from what I'm seeing in my mind is actually a flower coming through the cement, that famous image. And for me, I grew in a very hostile environment. A mom had a lot of trauma that she was unconscious, that she was unconsciously projecting a lot of rage and unsafety. And so when I had experiences, such as sexual abuse, at 5 and 7, I didn't tell. And most children don't tell, even if they have a stable environment, because they have no grid for the experience. It's a feeling that you have. And for me, that experience, I felt extremely depressed, holding this, I call a pain bomb, is what I held inside of myself. And from then I just started well, the silver lining was I had a lot of creativity. I loved music and dance. So I coped by expressing that and through sport. But it was like having this deeply embedded sliver in my soul that was paining me at the same time. And so I was coping by just eating incredible amounts of sugar, which is one of the most powerful painkillers and stronger than cocaine. What the brain lights up more than cocaine. And then that turned to alcohol at 12. And in the background, there was some dark things. So my brother was abused by a pedophile in the family. And that whole secret, trying to deal with it as a family and not dealing with it, holding the secret. So that is, what has healed me is breaking those secrets. And so the statement that has come is where healing ends, where secrets end, healing begins. But it took me a long time of self-sabotage and just immersing in, trying to get love through men, just getting lost in my sexuality and the confusion, gender confusion, being abused by a man and later a female messed me up on both sides. So I didn't know. It was like I didn't know whether I was gay. I was scared that I was. And that led me to actually getting breast implants at the age of 19 to try to feel female because I felt so male. And I had split from the connection with my mother. It was never there. So I didn't connect with my feminine. I connected with the masculine. And so I bonded. My whole life was all around men. And using my great body and my good looks to grab the affection, the attention, to have them, notice me and want me. And then after they did, I'd just have no interest. It was just like, I got that one. I got that fish, not interested. So it was a really vicious circle of no intimacy, not having intimacy with people because I was just swirling because of those experiences and just connecting with abusive people like my mom. That was my normal, was connecting with critical people and just staying there like a frog heating in the water in an uncomfortable position and not knowing that I had a choice to put myself somewhere else until eventually, many just seeking direction. And I started to receive the affirmation and the love, actually supernatural, from Creator. So I started to get direction, like the whole world doesn't revolve around me. Not everybody is upset. I used to think everybody didn't like me. But yes, that internal dialogue of self-rejection, when we've been rejected from birth, basically, by an unwell parent, you believe you're flawed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Completely. Right?
Yes. And it's not your fault, anybody who is listening as well might connect with Natalie's story, because I can very much relate to your story. I experienced some kind of abuse at that age, very early on, 4 years old. So, and it comes from having a very dysfunctional family life at that age. And it is, and when we are children, because every child, they see their parents as the hero, so they will never take the blame on the parent, but they will blame themselves. We blame ourselves when we were a child, when anything happened, and we are scared to tell our parents about it, and we keep it inside like you've done, and it does harm us as we grow, like on your journey. It's like small things become bigger. It's like, because the issues are not being treated from the root cause. So that's why bigger issues keeps happening to us, until one day like you heard the voice of God talking to you. And please tell us more about that, about that beginning of that transformation.
That started, well, a really important thing was I had a panic disorder. I had anxiety attacks just 24/7. They started at about 20, but I also had a serious pot addiction. And I noticed basically whenever I smoked, the paranoia, I believe that was a major trigger, that was a connection. But I would cross the street. I was phobic of people. So even going to a checkout, a teller, I would flush just crimson with embarrassment and shame. Any kind of, where just you looking at me as you are now, I would just feel so ashamed and scared. And so I would cross the street to avoid people. I would seek out any place to be alone. I was in a city and it was quite impossible, thankfully. But I learned, it was like Spirit told me, no, stop crossing the street. So I would make myself walk past. I would make myself look at them, just take them in, smile, say hello. And so I actually developed a coping style of aggressive friendliness to override. So I would, open doors for people, just face the fear. And, it took another 15 years for that to work out. I would, just suffering in this, like an earthquake in my nervous system. That was like living hell basically all the time. But back to Spirit's influence, a major thing was learning, was a prompting to begin to declare gratitude. So I write about this in my book, but it was so profound because I'd be out walking. I needed to be alone, but I went out walking and I was like, oh, thank you for the flowers, And I say, Lord, thank you, Lord, for the flowers, and thank you for the sunshine, and thank you for the whatever I'm eating, just however. And I noticed that would lift me out of the depressed, just black state. And that would bring some light in. And it was allowing me to see more clearly. Because it's an opening and it's a giving. And our heart needs to open. And whatever we can do, whether it's loving an animal, a closed heart is a huge obstacle. So anyway, like for the audience, any way you can open your heart with a baby, with anything, animals, nature, and just start exercising thankfulness. Because that's very, gives you power, gives even you, helps your health. It's proven to improve health, immune system. And it interferes with negative self-talk, which is a huge problem for many people.
Yes.
If you can jam the system with Thanksgiving.
That is so true. That is so true, Nattolie. The practice of gratitude, how it helps us to shift from that dark place to start to see the light. It doesn't happen overnight, but as you do it regularly, consistently throughout the day, the changes are happening. The miracles are coming. It's one step at a time. It's about being patient with ourselves. Yeah, that's beautiful that you started with that. Yeah. And what was the turning point for you, Nattolie, that started your healing journey?
There were so many turning points, so many angels on my path. Turning points, major turning point. Oh my gosh, Rani. A major turn. You know what? Going to, I had hit a severe bottom, I would say. There was a number of them that were super, super difficult. But the one that led me to actually jump into NLP school. So I had a big trauma, and I'd been listening to Anthony Robbins basically night and day on his cassettes, Personal Power. And the thought came back to me, what we put into ourselves eventually, like seeds, as you say, pop up. And after that trauma, it was like, take massive action. That's what he says, take massive action. And I had the dream of being like him. When I was listening, I thought, I want to learn what he knows. And so I very quickly looked up at NLP school in Vancouver. I found Erickson College with the renowned Marilyn Atkinson, the Dr. Marilyn Atkinson, who has a huge coaching practice now across the world. And so I was under her for 5 years. And it provided me stability. It provided me reflection. And being in this hub of 25 people doing therapy every day. So that was monumental. Learning about actually starting to become aware of how I'm thinking, how I do things. How do I, how we do anything, we can decode it by reverse engineering. So how do I go to the gym? First I say, I want to feel better, and step two, just like that. So we can reverse engineer any behavior from success to depression. We can take the steps back, as you probably know. Just take the steps back. Okay, I start saying to myself, life is terrible. I eat a whole bunch of sugar that biochemically, makes me crash. And then alternately, how do I feel joy? Yes. So the turning point was going to college, and that gave me a lot of skills.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, because I started the same when I started investing in myself, like you invested in you, and taking that first step and really, genuinely, investing in ourselves. It takes a lot of strength as well, not only financially, emotionally, being open and vulnerable in those sessions where we have each one practicing on each other. But it's so rewarding. So I think to anybody who is listening, whatever your situation, do not hesitate to pour into you, to invest into you, because you are the greatest treasure. And when you start to invest into you, you will discover all the treasures that lie within your heart. So just like what Nattolie did, this has brought, I think, transformative changes in her life, in her environment, in her thinking, in her words, because it helps you to change your language, change your mind, change the way you think. That is powerful, Nattolie, that you've started that course. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Wow.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Rani.
I want now to move to something else and talking about your book, your wonderful book, your book, which is called Unsilenced. And I would like you to tell us briefly about your book. Very briefly, give us a glimpse of your book, what it consists of, and when did you start writing that book? And yes, I would love to know, because I remember you went to to some events. You came to the UK, so I would love to know, when did that journey of writing that book start?
Well, I started writing in actually 1990 as a means to purge emotion. So the writing started then. I was told in 2007 to write my story. I did not start the actual story until 2014. So it was a 10-year journey. As soon as I began to attempt to tell my life, I felt like the voice of God said, it's not about you, it's about me. And I thought, because I was overwhelmed immediately, and I thought, it took me a long time to wrap my heart around that. And the bottom line is, there was so many supernatural interventions that were that allowed me to live, that opened the door to reconnect me back to the fabric of life. So I had never had time to reflect. So the 10 years that I spent writing it, from 2014 to 2024, and processing it as I wrote it. So it was go into the scar tissue and then have to heal. Now, and too much, take a break for a few months, back at it. It was the hardest thing I ever did. Now, the question you just asked, Dr. Rani, what is it about? It's a story of massive battle. When I think about it, I don't know how that I persevered. And then when I also think about it, it was by the spirit of love. The fabric of the universe is love. And if we can let that in, that is what it was about. Receiving support, as I was so walled off to humans supporting me. I was so independent. I don't trust anybody. I don't want to let anybody in me, near me, anything. And so it was that slow trusting a person here, having a kind soul there, being supported here. And I had to convince myself. So it was really a journey of changing my mind, changing my beliefs from bottom line, full belief in worthlessness, that I was not worth anything, a total loser, fully committed to that belief, and slowly tearing that away to actually embrace myself and love myself. and allow myself to trust a few people, and most of all to trust God, because I couldn't trust people to start with. People had just harmed me. So many had harmed. Too many had harmed. But then there was all the angels who started to counter that narrative. Yeah. So it's an overcoming story of overcoming major mental illness, unwellness, soul sickness, and isolation, to now being part of global community healers. The truth is all out. Freedom.
Yes. And you are the truth. You are the proof of it. That healing is possible for everybody, not only for you, but if you have done it, anybody can do it. Yeah. Thank you.
That's
Thank you for sharing that. It's so powerful, and to hear that. And when we experience all these traumas, all these beliefs, and we acquire them, they are not ours. So it's about when you then started to release them, it's like you freed yourself from the belief that you acquired. And you could now create your new beliefs, what you believe about yourself, about life. It's completely it's a game changer. Yeah. Nattolie, it's so wonderful talking to you. So many questions I've got. Unfortunately, I've got another 2 minutes left. And I would like to ask you 2 questions. How can you encourage others to break free from secrets and speak their truth, especially when silence feels safer?
I would say a lot of people feel so unsafe, like I did. I had telephone friends, but they were real friends. And not 100 people, a couple of people. So both of them were older women who believed in me. So a real safe granny, or just somebody that you feel safe with, that's willing to listen to you and just get completely honest, one thing at a time. Start to say, I'm using drugs. I'm drinking during the day. Just start one by one. And over time you can purge, because they just all press down. I get that image of a Jack in the Box, with the tied silks that keep coming out. It's that kind of thing. We get stuffed full of all this secrets, and we really are as sick as our secrets. So call a prayer line. I am available as a coach. I do not judge. Sliding scale. Dr. Rani is another person that you can reach out to. So trust your gut, trust the resonance. If you feel like, oh wow, like they can get me. Somebody non-judgmental, and that's what I recommend. Start purging your secrets, because the truth, you will be amazed. I even recently, this past week, there was 3 things that I had still kept secret. Mm-hmm. And I got those out. And my husband and I made new commitments to be completely honest. So no matter how far along you are, sometimes we start keeping them again. We start hiding, even from yourself, where you're not even conscious. So keep an eye on yourself and take action.
Yes, thank you. That's beautiful. And it takes time to trust, So for people who've been experiencing a lot of trauma, it takes time to trust, and it's one step at a time. One step at a time, what you feel comfortable. Yes, I had a client too, Nattolie, who for 30 years had never told her partner about one of her younger life experience. She waited more than 7 years since they got married to tell him. And it's only after the hypnotherapy session that she felt stronger within herself that now she was going to tell him. Yeah, and it's everybody at their own pace whenever you feel ready, but and she told me once she did that, she feel even freer than after the session. She felt freedom, Yeah.
Dr. Rani, I just have to say that your hypnotherapy and the support that you offered, support is key. Without support, I would have never gotten here. So we got to take the risk.
Yes.
And you're a huge part of her success. Huge.
Thank you. And you are too, with the work that you do, Nattolie, with your experience that you've had. So you are a great person to hold hand to anybody who is willing to open up. So anybody, feel free. If you resonate with what Nattolie said today, reach out to her, and can you tell the audience how they can connect and get to find out more about what you do?
Sure. You can go onto Instagram at Unsilenced Nattolie. Almost everything is that. YouTube channel, Unsilenced Nattolie. I've really done a lot of work, so I'm pretty accessible on the internet. And breakupwithsecrets.com, you could order my book from there, and you could actually get a signed copy if you wish for a donation. So, yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic.
And I'm from Canada. I'm actually from Canada. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great. And where from Canada are you?
Alberta.
Wow. Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Anyone, please feel free to contact Nattolie, reach out to her, and I'm sure she has a lot of things coming up, so you can follow her and find out more about her. Her web link will appear below, her website, where you can get her book. And I would like to say, Nattolie, huge thank you for being here. I'm very honored to have you as my guest. And what final words would you like to share with the audience before we end this podcast?
Thank you for your gracious presence. And again, I would just say, where secrets end, healing begins. Yeah. Just take the risk. You'll get yourself in return.
That's beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you, Nattolie. Thank you. And I wish you the very best in everything that you do, Nattolie. Wish you a lot of success. And to the audience as well, thank you for being here, for listening, watching, sharing, and subscribing. I will see you all for another episode. And I want you to remember that you are amazing. You have always been amazing, and you always will be amazing, no matter what other people say or believe about you, because your opinion is the most important opinion. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.